that we have, the trainings that we have. I got a lot of my information. I got a lot of my
stopping by.
And understanding, and just my training through listening to the Monday night calls, and then kind of going back to where we began, and just learning and listening and taking down notes. And when you hear things over and over, it starts to become second nature. Like things when I was doing a presentation, things are coming out that I thought I'd forgotten. But your brain keeps stores memory that you don't think it will store. And then so when you go through the steps, you got to go through your training. You get your CDLP certification. You've got to go to these virtual trainings that we do every night or every Monday night. These are vital to. I'm so glad you guys put this together, because a lot of what I learned came from these trainings every Monday night. Getting involved with personal development, reading personal development books, particularly with Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. They're also on YouTube. Grant Cardone. I listen to those all the time. And, especially in the morning when I'm getting ready for everything, and I'm listening. Or if I'm going down the road, and prospecting on the road or whatever, I got that on, because it's given me, the strength and the courage that I need to get out there, really, understanding that, I'm not just the only one that's going through anything that's making me feel like I can't do this. All of them, everybody's going through this, but over time, when you learn and when you have the courage just to get out there, when you do your first presentation, you might stumble and stutter for a little bit, but over time, you get better and you get better and you get better. And then as long as you're staying focused, when you're staying involved with the trainings and the things that LegalShield provides, including the conventions. The conventions are extremely vitally important to your success. That you will get where you need to be. Every one of these of the most successful people in this LegalShield organization started just like everybody else, and everybody else had their very first time. And so, but once they stuck with it and worked hard and were diligent and started perfecting their craft in this business, they became who they are today. And so I would just advise just to stick with the system. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Stay involved with the program, and just follow the steps of the leaders, and we'll all be where they are. So.
Good stuff. No, that's a great answer. And hopefully the new people are getting some nuggets from that stuff, talking about those things, what they should be doing first, what they should be doing second. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Sherranda Ivey, who can then turn it over to the other trainers to ask whatever questions that they want as well. So Sherranda Ivey.
Well, congratulations, Curt. That is awesome and amazing. Absolutely fantastic. So will you just explain about, you said, and kudos for, like you said, for listening to the replays. I still listen to the replays. Will you share with them? Because we've only been on Zoom since September. Will you share with them about the conference calls and how important that is? Because what I always share to people when I talk to them is how important and how many, as Lamar said, nuggets are in those trainings. That's how I learned. And will you share with that? Because you mentioned that, it's great to get on live. I get that because you're up with the new. But those prior calls was a big, it was a lot of training in those calls. So will you talk on that?
Sure. And, like I said, this business provides so many things to learn, and one of the biggest things they have, are the trainings, like the Monday evening calls. Um, you know, Now with my organization, Mondays are pretty busy for me because I have our Monday morning um, business B2B call with my organization, with the Mark Bridges organization, and we do that every Monday morning, and then then we apply everything to that from the nuggets that we learned, and we start getting on that phone and picking up that 10-pound receiver on the phone and calling everybody, because it's motivation to realize that it can be done. So there are steps, and there's having to apply, and that's part of the hardest thing, is to put your foot forward and apply what you've heard, not just be a hearer but a doer. I mean, it even says that in the Bible, don't just be a hearer of the word but be a doer. Well, it's the same concept with this business. Don't just hear about it, but do something about it. Do what you learn. And so then I get also the same thing in with the CDLP coaching call Monday evenings. But I'm also getting, things that I would never think about, the different laws that have changed, or things that are happening on the road that will affect an owner operator or a company. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't brought up in this training, through Randy Hooker or Lamar Reynolds or any one of the trainers, that because they've got more training and understanding about this business than I do. And so all of you guys are just valuable, priceless people to all of us, so that we can go into the a company with confidence that we can help these people. And they may even be facetious, because no one's ever come out to offer anything like this, and is this legit or whatever. But when we start breaking things down, like things with their CSA scores. In fact, I did a presentation to a company here in Arlington, and I'm talking to the safety manager, and I said, now, have you all had any situations with your CSA scores and having accidents or having anything like that? I already knew the answer, because I already seen the CSA scores, but I wanted to see what he was going to say. He says, "Oh no, we don't have anything like that. We don't have accidents. We don't have tickets. We don't have breakdowns." I said, "Really?" I said, "That's great." But so I said, "Well, let me just kind of show you what we do in the event that these things may happen." He says, "Okay, sure." So he's just kind of going along with it, and I was showing him all the benefits that we have with all the plans that we have. And he says, "Wow, that sounds really great." And I said, "So this is what we do to get started." And then he says, "Okay, great. Well, I'll let the owner know and all that," because the owner was on a flight somewhere back into town. But I said, "Now, but everything that I was showing you, do you see how it could really help?" And he says, "Well, I can see that if that could help with a company that had those situations, but we don't have those situations." I said, "Well, let me just kind of show you something." And I pulled up my phone that had the company profile, and I said, "Right now you're out of service score percentage is about 16%, where the average is you don't want to get above 20. You're almost at 20." And he goes, "Oh." And I said, if you look down here, you'll see where, on this particular day on April 14th, 2021, there was a out of service on this date. There was another air leak, and then you had some other issues, and I kept going down the line. And he's just looking, and he just sort of sat back in his chair. He's like, I had no idea. I said, I'm not trying to, throw this in your face. I'm just trying to help you guys, because if your CSA scores get too high, your insurance rates will go really high. And, that's going to affect, customers, and it's also going to affect your insurance rates and all that. He goes, I had no idea. I said, so just let you know that I'm here when you're ready. I will be here to help you guys out and write you a plan. I'm saying all this to say that if I hadn't been on these calls, I wouldn't have known to say that. I wouldn't have known to bring up CSA scores and out of service rates and things like that. I learned a whole bunch, and I'm still learning about CDL, and it's all been through this organization and meeting that we've had every Monday nights. They're invaluable, and they will definitely help you to grow and to achieve where you want to be. So
Awesome. Kudos. Yeah, you made a good point though, and you're right. And as you said, you told them whether they bought from you that day, you'll be there. And that's what we have to do. So kudos. So over to Randy, Lamar, Dunbar. And I know you say you had 100 drivers, and I'm sure they had other staff. So I know it's a blessing that corporate took that employee off small biz. Now you can sell to anybody. So that was a great plus. So kudos to you on that.
Thank
Absolutely. You. Randy, Lamar, Dunbar.
Mr. Randy, you got anything?
No, everything he's saying, kudos to him. I'm glad that we're helping him. That's the thing. And he's congratulations, Curt.
I appreciate that. And Randy, I want to thank you personally for guiding me through the steps of filling out that group authorization form, because I wasn't sure exactly how to do it. And I gave you a call, and you were right there readily available to walk me through it. And I kind of wish it was my first group. It was my second group that I opened, because if it was my first group, then you and I would have got a bonus. And I put you down for it, but it had to be my first group, and it was my second. So, but hey, I tried.
There you go.
But I thank you for being there for me.
There you go. Anytime.
Okay. Well, as you know, Curt, I always have a lot to say. So
Yeah.
I'd like to make some statements, and then I'd like to ask you a question, because I see you doing a lot of good things. I mean, motivational books and studying selling and all of these things. But I saw in the process, you had a desire.
Yes.
And people need a desire to want to do this. And then you faced your fears.
Yes.
You were courageous. You got courage. And you went out and just did it, as Sherranda and I used to talk about. We just went out and did it. Yeah. And so I see all of that really works together. And sometimes it's just one little nugget that really brings everything into focus. So yes. What gave you the confidence to be a doer instead of just hearing things? What gave you the confidence to want to be a doer?
Well, like I said, I was a truck driver, and I actually miss being over the road. Being over the road is something that has really helped me to see the world, see the American side of the world. And, driving a nice big rig, and just driving down the road is just something that, to experience. And so, but being that I couldn't do that anymore, I still have a passion for the CDL industry. And I'm hearing the things that you guys are saying with the laws that are changing and things that could actually put a damper on the industry and trucking companies. And I'm thinking, man, if I was still driving, I'd have to still deal with that. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be able. not dealing with that now, thank goodness. But at the same time, there are others that will be dealing with things that if I don't tell them about it and show them how we can help them, I feel like I'm being selfish, and not. And so that's kind of my motivation, because I know where these drivers are at mentally and emotionally when they're on the road. I know that they're missing their families. I know sometimes a lot of them want to get off the road for a while and they're stuck out there and they can't. And sometimes they get, you know, a little bit leery of things, or get frustrated, and their attitude will affect the way they're driving, and they start getting negligent and things like that. So I understand a lot of where they're coming from. So reaching out, you know, it became I don't know what to say, but it became like something that I needed to do, and I was wanting to, you know, I was literally going down the road and just taking down every DOT number I could. I'd really go to truck stops, and, you know, just go and just take down all kinds of DOT numbers while I'm there passing out, you know, the CDLP pamphlets and things like that, and talking to people. And, you know, when I let them know that I'm a former, you know, CDL driver as well, you know, they warm up to me, and we have a little bit of camaraderie there because we understand each other. And I'm just not just some guy trying to sell something to them. And so, you know, I'm just motivated because I know what the drivers go through. And, you know, if I can't be on the road in this way, I'll be on the road this way, you know, and so that's what keeps me going.
Yes. So you wanted to really help the drivers.
Oh yeah.
Because you know what they were going through, what they were experiencing. And so
I wish I had this when I was on the road. I would have
oh
been,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
yeah. Not that I got into a lot of trouble, but it would definitely have a good peace of mind there.
So I'm just going to make a couple of statements here. You know, I've made statements before a few years back, and people didn't really understand what I was saying, that you can really have good product knowledge of what the CDL program is all about. You will sell some memberships, but the extra dimension to it is the safer and understanding the CSA scores and how all of that works, because you're really speaking their language there. And Curt, just to be honest with you, back, let's say 16 years ago, probably going back about 13 years ago, as I was really putting all this script together, really, it goes all the way back. I was with the company probably 5 years, and at 2010, when the CSA came out, I started putting the script together, and it was a longer script, Curt. And I started experiencing what you experienced. So when I got down through, as you know, sir, if we bring the points off of your driver, it comes off your company's safety stats. Is what your customer sees, and it's what your insurance rates are based on. And I've had quite a few companies that just cut me off right there and say, hey, can you attend our safety meeting? Or I'm interested. And so I started cutting my script back, and it started to be a very short script. And this is what you folks see today is a very short script. Now you can add more things to it like Curt's doing, but what I tend to have found that the customers, the tripwire to all of this was the CSA points and coming off the driver, coming off the company safety stats, what the customer sees, and it's what your insurance rates are based on. Because once you look at the CSA and see all of those roadside inspections and the citations and violations that's being written, you know that those insurance rates are going up. And so when you make that statement, everything comes into one focus for that company, and they're ready. Yeah. They're ready to move forward with your program. And I am so proud of you, Curt, for what you've done. And you just went out, faced your fears, did it, and you're having great success. and I'll make this statement to you, as you continue to do these presentations and calling on prospects, it gets easier and easier and easier. You'll start to have such confidence that once you look at the SMS and understand what's going on in that company, you can be courageous, brother, walking into these accounts. And it's a great feeling of that feeling replacing your fears and trying to get your courage up. All of a sudden, that confidence just overflows you. And it's a powerful feeling knowing that you know as much as they, but probably you know more than what they really know because you've done the research and when you're walking in there. So it's really exciting to be in that position in sales.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you, you know, just like you said, the magic phrase was, you know, if we can get these, you know, the CSA scores down, if it comes off the driver, it comes off the safety stats, which is what your customers see and what your insurance rates are based off of. It was then that the owner cut me off and says, we're interested.
Yep.
Say no more. Here's the number to the safety manager and then let's get started. So, but it was that magic phrase of that, what you created, it changed. It just, we're ready. We're done. I'm done. I don't have to hear any more. I just, you know, let's get started. So, yeah.
Well, it took me a long time to put the wording together. And this phrase, as you know, I happened to pick that up from My Pillow advertisement on TV.
Really?
Yeah, I picked that up from that guy when he said that, as you know. And I started to do a little study on that. And it really puts things in perspective when you say, as you know, you're giving the consideration to that customer that they know it. They may not know it, but you're giving them that consideration.
Right.
And so these other pieces to that, I had to sweat those out and learn them. And so that's what you see today. And it's a proven script. And I just pray that a lot of people on this call will use that and have your courage, face your fears, and go and make the calls like Mr. Curt Jones, and you'll have the great success that he is talking about here today. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you so much for that.
All right, good stuff. So our trainers have asked their questions. We will take a couple of questions from the field real quickly, just a couple, because we got to close out here in a few minutes. I saw somebody just ask about where to find the script at. It's on the Facebook page under files. So when you go to the Facebook page, just go to the files section and then type in L space Reynolds and the script will pull up and you can pull it up there. So if somebody has a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Don't unmute yourself, raise your hand, and then we will call on you once you raise your hand and have you unmute to ask a question if you have a question. Going once. Going twice. All right, good. Oh, well, hold on. Consuelo, go ahead.
Did they fringe the
We can't hear you, Consuelo. You went out. Say that again.
I'm muted.
They fringe?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Consuelo.
Did they fringe the family stuff also, or just the CDLP?
No, just the CDLP.
Okay.
Yeah, the drivers would have to do that on their own. So
Did some of them take it?
not yet. A lot of them, you know, are the majority of this company. The drivers, anyway, are all foreign, and so a lot of them don't even speak English. So they're just trying to get them drivers covered right now. But she said that, you know, at a later date, we'll, you know, since they're all on the road all the time, you know, their safety meetings are usually over the phone or whatever. But you know, we'd work on, you know, getting them covered with the family plan as well. So it's just going to take.
You might give them a video on the family plan that the guys can watch on their own.
Oh yeah. Well, I actually sent her I created a presentation through the PowerPoint presentation, and I actually put that together for her to, and it sent the safety manager a link to send to all the drivers. So yeah, so that was another thing that I'd never done before, but I was just you know I was just ready and eager to show any way that I can, especially with the situation with the pandemic and everything. How am I going to reach out to these people? And so I created a PowerPoint presentation with video and things like that to show what this all does, and sent the link out to them. So we'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Any more questions? Going once,
Philip Arnold is waving his hand up there.
going twice.
Philip Arnold is waving.
Miss Consuelo, we're watching the chat, so we asked him to. Yeah, so hold on. Just stay muted, okay? It's being recorded.
What we got, Sherranda? You got somebody else with a question?
No, they don't. They haven't raised their hand on the screen with Zoom.
Gotcha. So, Mr. Curt, would you like to leave us with anything? What would you leave us with? Like, if you could, again, like you got the new people, you got the people who, even after all of this interview, they're still kind of nervous and still kind of like, hey, I don't know what to say, and all of those different things. So, what would you say to that new person?
Pull up Dunbar. We have two people that raised their hand before Curt last words. So Philip Arnold, he raised his hand on the screen, and then we'll go over to Jackie Hamilton. So Phillips Arnold.
First, I really appreciated your story, Curt. That was outstanding. All of us, we got a lot of nuggets out of that. So, but the question I have, I'm around a lot of truck stops. There's, a lot of truck stops around where I'm at. Well, what type of suggestion would you give to me, since I'm around so many truck stops?
Well, what I did, about a month ago, I had a, well, let me just show you here. I had my book here. It's not a book, but it's a case that you can put notes in, things like that, write notes. And I had a bunch of these CDLP pamphlets that you can order on the LS store, LegalShield store. And all I did basically was, I'd watch to see who's in their truck, and I would knock on their door and say, hey, I work with LegalShield, and we work to help, keep your CSA scores down and represent you in court in case you get any kind of a DOT ticket or moving violation, things like that. And I'll hand it to them, and it'll have my card in the back, glued to it. And I have my notepad here in case they are interested and want to talk. I'd write down their name, phone number, and all that, so that I can follow up with them at a later time. And so I would just say, order these. If you don't have these pamphlets, order some. They're not very expensive. You get 100 for like $25, I believe. And just go to these truck stops and just, let them know who you are and what you can do for them. Don't make it long or anything. Just give them a brief understanding, that we're here to, help you keep your CSA scores down, and how you guys doing on the road, things like that. And I don't think anyone rejected me or gave me some sort of a indication that they didn't want me there. They're just sitting around because they got nothing else to do. So if anything, they might enjoy the company of somebody saying hello. That's what I would say. Is just go to the truck stops and just, talk to people sitting in their truck, if there's nobody in their truck, I left, it in the crevice of their door, with my card and information, as well as the pamphlet, so that if they're interested, they can give me a call. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A disclosure, women, be careful with that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
At truck stops. So just FYI, women. So
I wouldn't think about that, but yeah.
so good stuff. So Jackie Hamilton has her hand up next.
Yes, I wanted to ask Lamar Reynolds. He did a video. It's some time back, and it's in the files, but I've been trying to find it again. Where he went over, everything about how you reading the scores and everything. What kind of trucks, the flatbed, and you remember that it was quite extensive, but it was really good. And I've tried to find it for some other people and myself as well. And so I just have the notes that I took. Can you tell me exactly what to look for? Because I've looked for it and I've not been able to find it anymore.
It's on their announcements on Facebook. It's the 3rd annual Safer training. But if you go to Dunbar, if you go to the CDLP page and look for the recordings, Dunbar has so kindly, he has a YouTube channel and you can direct all your associates there. And he has it separated into CDLP and that's on there as well.
Okay.
But if you go to the Facebook page, it's under announcements.
Okay. All right.
It's tagged under announcements. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Michael Pooler.
Yes. Hello, everybody. You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just did the training on the 22nd of February. I mean, the 22nd of May. And they had a glitch in the system or something like that, so they couldn't send me the certificate. But I just looked in there, and it's in the spam, and I see what I got to do and stuff like that to get the certificate. I'd like to know about the app that the prospect need to put on their phone, when they get the membership. And let's see, I have a friend that lives in Georgia, okay, and he's a truck driver, and he knows other truck drivers. And one of the main reasons why I decided to do this is because he was saying, once I get that and everything, that he would go ahead on and purchase a membership and turn his friends on to it as well. So I guess I need to know about the LegalShield store and purchase the necessary paperwork that I need to get in order to do that. I got a lot of good information from the training and everything. So, but I'm just trying to get started.
Well,
get started. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Michael, for getting started. Where are you located?
I'm located in Newport News, Virginia.
Okay. Well, you can go into the back office and you can look in the back office for trainers. I'm the state trainer in Georgia, so if you want to connect with me, that's okay. But you can connect with any of the trainers that specialize in CDLP. That can help you. I would say get with a field trainer so you can get started. They can help you to maximize your list. So that's the first thing I would do is connect with a field trainer. Since you're new to the industry with LegalShield marketing this, and that would benefit you, quite well. So it's a list under LS Engage. Of all the, trainers, their solutions trainers. It lists the state trainers as well, the CDLP state trainers. And so reach out to someone for field training, but make sure, they're specializing in CDLP outside of your state trainers.
Okay. I'm going through. And when you say going through the back office, I don't think I've ever done that before. So.
Okay, so I would connect with your upline, whoever brought you in the business, and ask them to help you with that, because that's some of that getting started right part, and they can assist you with setting up your your app and taking you in the back where the resources are. So you
Right.
can, you know, set up your prospect app to market, you know, to CDL drivers. We have resources to put in that as well. So I would connect with the person who introduced you to the business so they can
Right.
help you get started right, okay? With just LegalShield. And then you can connect with a field trainer that can assist you with training in CDLP.
Okay. Wow. It just seems like a lot, you know?
It's not, I promise you, if you connect with the person who brought you in, they'll be glad to assist you. And we have a fast start training that'll help you with all those apps as well. So definitely just plug into it. It's a system. We're all here to support. But that is part of the system that will help get you launched. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay. I'm
righty.
glad I asked that question. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations on getting started with LegalShield, getting certified. I'm sure your support system will be glad to help you. And your field trainers will be able to assist you as well in this division. Okay.
Good. Good. Yeah. Because I just made what's that, senior associate or something like that?
Awesome,
Congratulations.
sir. Well, just connect with them and congratulations. So, Curt,
Okay.
we're gonna go over to Mr. Curt to
Thank
close
you.
it out. You're welcome,
Mhm.
sir. Dunbar, you
Mhm.
want to say anything else?
No, I was just gonna let Jackie know. I put that link when she was asking about the training. I put it inside the chat, so it's there.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All righty. Over to
Go
you,
ahead,
Curt.
Curt. You can close out.
Well, you know, everybody has fear of, like I said earlier, anything that they are not unfamiliar with and never done before. That's natural to be afraid to put your foot out there and take the first steps. There's nobody in this business, I don't think, that didn't have some level of fear getting started and talking to people. But you first have to make a decision that you want to do this. Okay, no matter what it is, whether it's LegalShield or anything else, if you want to do something bad enough, you will do it. You will talk yourself into it. You'll do whatever it takes. You've got to, you know, I got really familiar with Lamar's script and I got comfortable with it. And that gave me knowledge about, you know, certain things. And then listening over and over to different parts of the trainings that we go through, like tonight's training and things like that. You know, but when you want to achieve something, if you want to go from a senior associate to manager to senior manager, and keep going until you get executive director, you will do what it takes to put your foot out there and take the first steps and get out there and start talking to people, or picking up that 100-pound phone and making the phone calls. Yeah, it's sometimes can be nerve-wracking, but it's only for a little while. You'll get through it because you'll get used to it, and you'll start realizing that it's not as hard as you thought it was. And then once you start realizing that it's not as hard as you thought it was, and you can actually do this, and then you make your first sale, believe me, you will take off from there. Unless you choose to stop, you will continue to achieve and do what you want to do. So just continue to you know, be strong, be brave, you know, take those first steps, make that first phone call and that second phone call until you get to, you know, 50 phone calls a day or 100 a day or whatever you got to do. But make those phone calls, because the more you talk to people, the more it'll start, you know, you'll get used to it and you'll start realizing this is not as hard. It's just, you know, you'll get there. So just continue to just stay focused on what you want to do. Stay focused on your goal. Know that you're not here just to be making phone calls and getting a bunch of no's. You're here to do what everybody else has done and get through the no's to get to that one yes that can change your whole trajectory of where you're going. Is that good enough?
Mm-hmm. Yes, no, it was, brother. No, it was. No, and it was whatever you needed it to be. As far as closing out, we just wanted to make sure that people, you know, understood that we really love the testimonials, because it lets people know that people in the field are out there, going out there, and it's not just trainers and field trainers and, you know, people who've been in 20 years going out here and making this stuff happen. And we really like the fact that you use the script and you called, you know, Randy Hooker to help with the paperwork, because you kind of, you know, you work in the system, and that's what this is all about. right? You go out there, you talk, you got to do some of it on your own. So like you said, you went out there and you made the calls. You pulled the companies, you made the calls. You got to do it on your own. We can't handhold you through every single situation. You got to go out there. It's like the child who parent pushes them on the bike, and you got some child that's like, don't ever let go of the back. And it's like, when are you going to ever steer the bike yourself if you hold the back the entire time, you're on the bike? So the fact that you went out there on your own, talked to some people, got somebody on the hook, and then said, hey, Randy, help me reel this sucker in. You got him on the, you got him on the boat, and then, you was good to go. And that's what it's about. You use the system, man. So we appreciate that. We congratulate you for that. And just, man, congratulations for being #1 for Texas 48, the company, and writing yourself to Silver Director. Before you go, how many memberships do you have to write to get yourself to Silver Executive Director?
Well, 2,800. So it was about, well, actually, the exact membership count was 97. There are 3 that are still have to sign, that are from Canada, that has to sign in a different, sign up in a different way. But for 97, it was just right at 2790 something, and then so LegalShield rounded up to 2,800, which qualified me for senior silver ED. So
good stuff, brother. Well, I appreciate that, man. Them some good numbers to be looking at in that back office.
Yeah.
So when you said that's in your back office, I heard Mr. Pooler say that sounds complicated to get back there. It ain't complicated to get back there when you see them kind of numbers back there, is it?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that'll motivate you, man. I'll tell you what.
You got a point there.
If somebody tell you, hey, go along in them numbers, you see them numbers back there, you figure out how to get back there, then I'll take that. There's some good stuff back there. No, we thank you, man. We appreciate all you guys being on too. It's 9:45, so we're gonna close out, but we thank you guys for sticking with us, Curt. We thank you again for allowing us to interview you. We thank you all the trainers that that's on every weekend who ask questions too as well to get answers pulled out of Curt to help you guys on your day-to-day basis. So, trainers, anything else before we go? Anybody want to mention anything? Going once?
Blitz tomorrow.
Tuesday,
Yes,
Blitz tomorrow.
I want to thank you trainers for who you are and what you've done for us. I wouldn't have probably done what I did without the training and the guidance that you guys gave me. So thank you all.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. So Blitz guys tomorrow, and then Thursday, accountability call with Sherranda Ivey for those who are a part of that. So let's get busy. Like Lamar said, let's do it. Sherranda Ivey started that a couple years ago, man. Let's go out here and let's do it. Like night, go out there and do it, man. Get it done.
Just do it.
Do it. Let's do it. Well, we look forward to speaking to you guys next week. We'll see some of y'all on the Blitz tomorrow, obviously, but next week, same time, same back channel, guys. We'll see you guys. So, and a replay will be posted here within 24 to 48 hours. So everybody have a fantastic evening.
Thank you all.
Have a good one.
Night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all the trainers.
Night.
Good, all of you.
Night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.